And there's going to be a wonderful photo opportunity of Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome right in between the gap of these two buildings here on the right. You'll see it in all of its glory. And while you're looking at the top, you'll notice 4 glass boxes hanging off the side of it, which is known as Skydeck. And for a price of admission, you too can stand on those glass boxes and see Chicago in all of its glory. But let me warn you, it's kind of scary. I think of it, nature programmed these biological alarm clocks in our head that are set to go off when we feel like we're dying. Those might go off up there. Although I'm a little biased to my description, the first time I went up there about 4 years ago with my 8th grade class on a field trip, I was standing on the glass box when 5 of them joined me and started violently jumping up and down on the glass box, causing it to shake. Let's just say biological alarm clocks were triggered, and I might have said some words I promise not to repeat on this vessel. Hey, it's clearing up, and if you go up there on a clear day, you can actually see 4 states up there. Isn't that pretty incredible? One spot, 4 states. Those 4 states, of course, include... What's up, Tom? Those 4 states, of course, include Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Hawaii. That's Illinois. Hey, we're clearing Adams Street Bridge right here. This marks the beginning of Route 66 right here on Adams and Wacker here in Chicago. If you want, you can of course take that route continuously with lots of sideshow attractions all the way to California. You also may have noticed here on the left that there are several trains running underneath the west side of the South Branch of the river. This allows me to describe a very controversial zoning ordinance here in Chicago known as air rights. If you want to build above these trains right here, you need to lease out the air above them. Yes, the air for $2.3 million a year, up to 99 years. It's known as air rights. Getting back to some buildings, let's look ahead of us on the right. We'll see this brown building with the serrated edges in the corners of its towers, known as the Mercantile Exchange, which was built in the 1980s to accommodate that huge boom of trading commodities. And if you know anything about trading commodities in the 1980s, you would need these open floor plans known as trading pits, in which runners can wave signals on what to buy and what to sell, making eye contact with one another. A problem for architects and constructions in the ways of those columns. So architects actually found a way around this. When they installed these 2 towers on either side, they were intentionally put in 1/8 of an inch offset from one another, so that when the 2 trading pits were installed, it then would gather the towers to stand vertically still. You may think of these trading pits as metaphorical hammocks being suspended between those 2 towers. This was accomplished by architects Ugi, Jawa, and Johnson in 1983. Moving from one engineering wonder to another, let's check out this unique blue and gray structure ahead of us on the left, which if you look at the top, you'll notice the Boeing airplane corporate sign up there just below the clock, as this is currently the home of Boeing Airplanes corporate headquarters. But I mentioned it features this engineering wonder. Check this out. On the lower half of the building, you'll notice these white trapezoids here. Those are actually trusses. And due to the trains below, they are suspending the southwest corner of this building over the trains and water below. You may think of those trusses as essentially acting as anchors, suspending the building being the close. This was accomplished by architects Perkins and Will in 1990 when it was first erected. It was actually home to Salt, which has been currently relocated to River Point at the helm of Wolf Point. Moving over to the right side of the river, you'll check out one of Chicago's newest developments along the river, which just got underway about a year and a half ago. This is going to be the headquarters of Bank of America here in Chicago, and when it is finished, it will stand at 800 feet. It will be completed by architects Getch Partners, the same geniuses who gave us 150 North Riverside. What's really unique about floating by this building during its current phase is we can check out these V these support beams right here. There's a reason they are here. Chicago has a zoning ordinance. If you are to build along the river these days, you must do so at least 30 feet off of it and provide a public space or plaza, which is exactly what we featured right here along the south branch of the river when completed in just over a year from now if everything goes as planned. I'm letting them borrow my boat for the day. Okay, so I mentioned that zoning ordinance that buildings have to be 30 feet off of it. It's another reason to appreciate 150 North Riverside. The reason it has that 45-degree angle at the bow is not just for aesthetic. It's because they had to do it to provide that public space or plaza you see right there. So a lot of people obviously flock downtown during Chicago's summers. Why not? So there's also another time that a lot of folks head to downtown Chicago, and that would be St. Patrick's Day. It is quite the sight to behold, as Chicago has a large Irish heritage, but more importantly, we dyed the main branch of the river this brilliant elite green. In fact, the Plumbers Union dyes the river off of the boat we are on right now. They would be on the back of the boat, and they spray this orange substance that's actually used to check for cracks in plumbing. Once it makes contact with the water, it transforms into that brilliant Kelly green. I will point out it is biodegradable and dissipates after just about 36 hours. Over here on the right, we have this brick building with the ivy on it, the Great Lakes building it is today. But if you go back to the 1800s, what stood on this land was known as the Wigan Convention Center, where the National Republican Convention was held that allowed Abraham Lincoln to eventually ascend to his presidency. So we've now returned at Wolf Point, right? This Y-shaped intersection on the river. This gives us a chance to check out this wonderful curved structure here on the right that looks beautiful as ever at this time of day. Cladded in alternating turquoise and gray glass. It's known as 333 Blacker, completed in 1983, or the New Veen building. You know, this was actually voted by Chicagoans as our favorite building for several years. I believe that's due to the glass at the time, which again mimics the color and texture of the Chicago River. But Chicago is also huge fans of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And if you are too, you should know that his dad's office was in this building as it overlooked the parade going on in Chicago. Just below 333 Blacker is this awesome river walk right here. You can see the lawn chairs on it, which is relatively new in Chicago's history. This was actually, work began on it about 10-15 years ago, and this slab that was completed 2 years ago connects Lake Street all the way to Lake Michigan, meaning you can walk uninterrupted along this river walk for 1.3 miles with a lot of different things to do. But more importantly, it expresses the growing relationship between Chicago's people and its river. You know, in the 1900s, we ceased to treat it as an open sewer. 1972, the Clean Water Act was passed. We actually started cleaning it out. But currently in Chicago, we have a zoning ordinance. If you want to build along the river these days, you must do so being LEED certified, which stands for a Leader of Energy Efficient Design. In fact, the Chicago school building ahead of us on the left is LEED certified, and one of its functions is to actually take in the water, filter it, and put it out in a pure form, which is perfect because if you look here on the right, you'll see those floating jetties with vegetation on top and the metal poles. Well, below that are fish hotels, where if you're walking along the riverwalk here, you might just see a few baby fish hanging out. But this also reveals the exploding biodiversity in our river. In 1979, we were quoted as having 12 species of fish in here. That number has swelled to over 71. And you can think of that explosion of biodiversity revealing the ever-improving health of our river. That said, do not swim in the Chicago River. It's illegal. I know it looks tantalizing sometimes on hot days, but the city of Chicago does say that it will be recreational ready in 10 years. Not sure how the logistics of that will play out. One more bit about these bridges. Do they still open? Yes. Not as much as they did in the late 19th, early 20th century, but they do open during the fall and spring times of the year on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. only. This is to allow sailors and other large vessels bring their boats out from dry dock, masts and all, out to Lake Michigan for the summer season. If you can imagine seeing these different vessels pass through Chicago's canyon of architecture, it is quite the sight to behold. Also, this is a little subjective, but I kind of find some joy out of people that are now late to work because when the bridges go up, it makes a lot of people angry. Kind of messes up the logistics and things. But it is cool to just see that rat race in Chicago stop for just a moment. And as soon as those bridges are lowered, it picks up right again. And we're actually going to pick right back up with some architecture focusing on the right side of the river. Specifically this glossy building that's intercepted by slabs of horizontal and vertical concrete, which is known as 77 Wacker. This was completed in 1990 by Spanish architect Ricardo. Its most important feature is that neoclassically inspired Greek Parthenon found at the top of it. If you've been inspired by some of the architecture you've seen today, I highly recommend you check out some of the lobbies, specifically 77 Wackers. It's stunning and personally gave me a whole new perspective of the structure as a whole. Just next to 77 Wacker is that short brown building that says 55 on it, cleverly named 55 Wacker. It's actually an example of another popular style of architecture during the 1960s and 70s known as brutalism. Brutalism has this idea of strong, rigid, reinforced concrete paired with small black windows and to give off a sense of safety and security. But I've also developed a nickname for this building just for the way it's so short and angry. And I call it the Danny DeVito of architecture. It's like short and angry between two tall supermodels. Come on. That supermodel to the left of it that has the tic-tac-toe formations going up is known as the Leo Burnett building. It was completed in 1990, named after famous advertising guru Leo Burnett. He brought us such ads as Tony the Tiger, Snack Crackle Pop, the Marlboro Man, the Green Giant. And in 1990, Chicago named this gray giant building after him.